You're on.
Okay. All right. So I'm basically just going to teach you guys how to properly put them back in the boxes, the best way to wear them on your head, because I know it gets hard because especially the nape area right here gets really gross and really frizzy. So unfortunately there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. But just the best way to brush them, actually comb them, and how to keep them curly and pretty and put them back on their wig heads or boxes. And put them on if you need help putting them on. So basically I picked this one to go over because it's the most involved out of all of our wigs. I know it looks really funny, but usually the way you get your wig is the way you're going to put it back on the head. So even though this looks really funny, this helps keep the wig shape. So Ariel has the super big bangs, but this here is going to help us keep these bangs nice and poofy and not flat when it rains out or when it's, you know, gross in the garage or when nobody wears it for a long time. So this helps us keep them nice, and when I pull them out to style it, I can just spray it the way it is. And the thing about wigs is you don't want to take your hairbrush that you brush your hair with at home and just shove a brush through it. That is really yucky. And the thing about a wig like this is you don't want to take a comb like this and just comb it out because it creates a lot of frizz. The best thing that I have found, sorry, I'm going to try to get like the best angle for everybody, is to just separate a curl from it. Like if you want to like find a curl and separate it, and then you can comb that curl just really gently. And then it'll kind of lose its shape, but you just curl it back up. And then you just kind of bounce it down and then just, you know, let it get whatever shape it's gonna, you know, form after that. So that'll probably be the best way if you see any curls that are looking kind of rough or need combed through. Just separate that curl from its section and just comb it out a little bit and just kind of recurl it with your finger. And then use a little bit of hairspray. I don't recommend like coating it with hairspray because then if we have to go back and comb it again, it will be really difficult to go through. And then if you have frizz on the top of the head, what you can do is, can you hand me that comb right there, Mariah? The black one. Thank you. If you have just like a really tiny comb, like a really fine comb like this at home, what you can do is not actually comb it, but just smooth the top like that, and then spray it a little bit. That will take the frizz from the top of the hair out. So that also will help you in making the wig look nice. Now if you have a wig like Moana or Merida, you probably won't run into these problems, and you probably won't want to stick a comb through them and try to take those little ringlets and ring them up. You're going to probably run them. So what you want to do is you just want to take a little bit of spray and scratch them up because their hair's supposed to look a little bit crazy anyway, but chances are you won't run into those problems. So then when you have this wig, you're going to just take this tissue paper, put it back on, and this is the only wig like this, but this wig also has a net. Now, as we start replacing some wigs, a lot of them are going to come with nets. Please try to keep them with the wigs. I know they're easy to lose, but the netting helps keep some of the frizz down and helps keep the wig last longer. So if you can't get the net on, it's fine. Just try to hook it to the top and let us know, or just hook it to the top, and when we get it back, we'll net it back on for you. And then just kind of scrunch it up there, the bottom, and then just make sure it all gets in there. And this will just keep the hairs kind of in place. And I believe the bell is like this one too. So just make sure that that is like that. And then I'll show you how to do it for wigs that are just in boxes. And there are some, like the Sophia wig, that has a net that is in a box. Just put it back in the net. It's really tiny, so just kind of net it up and then just put it back in the box because it's so small. But like this one, it just goes in the net and then you place it in the box like that. But I'm trying to think what else. But basically you just leave the bangs out because you want to keep their shape and then do that. But the bell wig, I believe it just all goes back in like that, and then the bangs swoop off to the side into the net. Now we have our other popular wigs. So we have the two most popular wigs are curled wigs and braided wigs because of Elsa and Anna Now, this isn't the best Elsa wig I could find, but I kind of just pulled one down from the rack. So this is an Elsa wig, and what I find, because I have brown hairs, and I'll go over the best way to put up, I find for my hair, everybody's hair is kind of different, to put up in a wig cap quickly. I have these brown baby hairs right here that kind of peek through wigs a lot. A lot of the time, if I do have some extra time, I like to braid the Elsa wig to my head, especially if it's looking kind of rough, or if it just doesn't look right on my head, because sometimes I'll re-braid them if I get them back and they do have this frizz, which just happens, it's nobody's fault. Then I will braid it to my head, and the best way to comb out the Elsa wig is to just use a comb like this. A lot of the time you'll find them in the bins, or if you have one from a bin that you've used previously, if you just have a similar one at home, just try not to use like a regular hairbrush. So just try to comb out the, just very gently though, don't try to go through any of the crazy knots. And then just take out the hair tie, and what I like to do is I unbraid a little bit, comb that, and then unbraid a little bit, comb that, and then unbraid a little bit and comb that. So that way you're not combing through a bunch of knot all at once. And then I put it on my head, and then I just swoop to one side, and then I braid it, and then that usually tends to hide all of the hairs. And then when you put the wig back in, and this is for any wig that goes in a box, it doesn't have any sort of netting or doesn't go in onto a wig head. What I like to do is I like to just kind of grab it by its like its center point, or its the point where the hairs lay, and I just kind of grab it, and then I'll fold it like that. Thank you. And then always make sure any hair clips or crowns are in bags, because if those catch on wigs, they will knot them and frizz them and sometimes ruin some areas and force me to have to trim them, which I try to avoid as much as possible, but we do trim the wigs sometimes, at least a little bit. And then I just lay it in there. Sometimes I have tucked the braids in the wig caps periodically, but if they have little clippies like this, just lay them off to the side. And then I just would set that on top and put that in there. Another thing that I would advise against is obviously bobby pin all your wigs onto your head, because I have to, for especially Elsa wigs, I have to, or any sort of wigs that kind of creep up, I have to bobby pin them down to hide all my brown baby hairs. Try to take the bobby pins out after you're done using them, because if I'm combing through, sometimes they get caught, and that can cause a little bit of a knot. Another thing is try to use just standard bobby pins. The ones, here, I'll show you. Pins like these are really hard to take out, and they'll cause the wig to, when you pull them out, the hairs get stuck on like the flower or the jewel, and they'll cause them to like fray, and they'll cause it to pull, and it creates kind of a little bit of a mess. Another thing is try not to use clips on the hair, like hair clips, like big flowers or big like jewels and stuff like that, unless you have to, because when you pull them out, sometimes they get stuck on the hair, and then it just kind of frizzes that part of the hair. Unless it's a part of the character. I'm trying to think. I don't think we have any wigs that are crucial to the character, so just try to avoid it if possible. Crowns are okay, just be careful. And then when you a lot of the time is when it frizzes at the bottom. It happens to me too. It's literally nobody's fault. It's a lot of times the material of our dresses. So that's, that it just is what it is, and the only thing is just try to be careful, or when you're putting it back, if you notice it started to frizz a little bit, the best way we can avoid that is to just comb it when you see it, and the more we take care of it, the less it'll start to frizz up right underneath, like it's like this little part right here. So that will help a lot. And then another thing is putting your hair up into a wig cap. I don't know if everybody here wears a wig cap, but it's super important too, because it's like a hygiene thing. I'm sure everybody here washes their hair, but still, it's just really important to wear a wig cap. The best way I found, and I know some people have thick hair, but if you have thinner hair like I do, I just braid one side of my hair and then braid this side, and then I just take them and I kind of do like milkmaid braids. Before I put the braids up, I try to pancake them a little bit, because when you have such bulk here at the top of your head, it makes the wig look a lot faker. And so when you have them all straightened out, it makes it look a lot better. And then when you have the wig cap, which if you don't have one, look in some of the boxes out there. You should be able to find one, or just ask us. We could give you one, absolutely. And try to change your wig cap every, I would say, at least 2 months to 1 month to 2 months, depending on how often you wear it. Just because, just think about how many of us girls wear those wigs, or how many girls have worn those wigs, because depending on the wig, we don't replace it very often if we don't use it, because it's not really worth the investment. So just think about how many girls have worn that wig. I would wear the wig cap. And then plus it can help you hide your baby hairs. Once I get it on my head, I take this lower part and I kind of swipe it up to help shove those baby hairs up into my wig cap. I'll be putting it on when we take pictures if anybody needs me to show them. And then if you have thicker hair, the best way to do it is to probably do like a half up and then section this part into 2. And then to probably just do like a big pin curl. Sorry, I'm doing this very messily. And then just pin that to your head. And then do it to the other side. And then do a pin curl on the bottom side. It doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to be shoved up into a wig cap. And it'll probably look gross under the wig cap. But it'll be the flattest on your head. And use the clips on the wigs. I don't know where the Ariel wig went, but we'll use this one. It's okay. We'll use this one. I generally, to keep the wig on my head, I like to use not the closest, unless I find that the wig is very big, but I haven't ran into that problem yet. I use like at least that one, and then maybe like this one, like almost close to the, so I use like those ones, and then you put it on your head. That helps keep it on. And then make sure, even if the bangs, this can get kind of confusing, even if the bangs are over here, because like Ariel, for example, she has like really parted bangs, they're all the way over here, not to scoot it over here, and this can make the wig really uncomfortable. And the bangs are now in the middle, just to make sure you're looking at the center of the wig and putting the center of the wig right here. If you're ever confused as to where a wig might go, literally, especially if you have it on the head, the way you're looking on the head is generally the way it's exactly going to go on your head. As for these ones, I would just look up the character, and then that's probably how you're going to put it on. Bobby pins, especially the good bobby pins, at least, they're your friend. Just strategically put them, but try to take them out when you're done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. Shit happens. I'm not the best. I mean, I know how to decently take care of a wig, and I know how to put a wig back together, and that's, helping us take care of wigs better. We're now taking care of wigs and restyling them as they come back in, so that way they're going back out to you looking nicer. But if you wore a wig that week and something had happened, just let us know, so that way I can pay extra attention to it, or I know what I'm going into, and I'm not just like, what the heck happened to this wig? Just let us know, or if something had happened, yeah, just let us know, and no big deal. And trying to think if there's anything else. I think that was probably it. But I want to know if you guys have any questions, because I know sometimes if I'm ever late, it's probably because of a wig. So I know sometimes wigs are really annoying. But I want to know if anybody has any questions, or needs me to help them, or if you want me to show you how to put a wig on, or want me to help you put a wig on so that way you can see it. Something like that? No? Nothing? Alright. Fair enough. Alright, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let's see what time it is. It's 9:18. It's 9:18. Okay, we have some time then.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
it. Nobody had